Now let's see if you can take everything we've learned and apply it to this possession. How many tags do you see on this ball screen? The correct answer is 2. And the high tag on this possession does a great job of covering up the roll, so when the big comes back and re-screens, now there's only 1 tag to try and guard the roll and the shake. He gets put in jail, and that's what leads to this open dunk. Hey guys, welcome to the film room. I'm so glad you chose to watch this video because we're covering one of my favorite topics in basketball, which is understanding tags in the pick and roll. We're gonna start with the basics of what is a tag defender, and by the end of this video, you're gonna know how to manipulate defenses like chess pieces. These are essential concepts that you have to know whether you're a player or a coach, so let's jump right into it. The first question is, what is a tag and why does it matter? Look at this ball screen. The on-ball defender is trying to fight through the screen and get back to his man. And because he's late, now the screener's defender has to help stay in front of the ball or hedge so that the guard doesn't get downhill. And that's what makes the roll man open as the big is recovering. And so it's the responsibility of these 2 defenders, known as tag defenders, to stop the big as he rolls, also referred to as tagging or bumping. So in every ball screen, whichever direction the ball handler is going, in this situation it's to the right, the defenders on the left side of the court are your tag defenders. And their responsibility is to slow down the roll man or take away that pass as the big is helping and recovering. So what do we do with this information and how do we take advantage of the defense? Let's start with what's called a cleared side or open corner ball screen. That's anytime you set a ball screen in the wing area and all of the other 3 players are on the opposite side of the court, meaning that there's nobody in the strong side corner. Because there's no offensive player there, there's also no defensive player there, meaning there's nobody to tag, which opens up these wide open shots for a pick and pop. I did a full video on the cleared side ball screen. I'll put the link right here in the corner, and I would encourage you to check that out when you're done with this video. Now, just because there's nobody in the strong side corner doesn't mean that there's no tags. We just need to locate where they are. On a pick and pop, they're almost irrelevant, but on a pick and roll, the nearest tag defender is right here in the hole that's gonna have to step over and help when the big catches the ball on the roll. And what you'll find as you see more cleared side ball screens is that tag defender who's in the hole is oftentimes out of position like you see right here, or it will be a guard who's down there and he's gonna have a significant size disadvantage to your rolling big. Now, if you're playing against disciplined defenders who do a great job of being there on the tag, here's a way to manipulate that defender. Instead of trying to throw the ball straight to the big where he could come over and steal it, reverse the ball to the other side of the court, and that's going to influence the tag to recover to his man, and then that player can throw the ball into the big. And this is a concept that I've also done a breakdown video on, known as the passing triangle, because of the movement of the ball. So now that we've covered situations where there are no tag defenders, let's move on to the next phase, which is 1 tag defender. As this screen gets set, notice that the ball handler is going to his right hand, so we need to look to the backside for our tag defender, which is this guy right here. Now the screener is going to pick and pop, and what you're going to see is that this lone defender is stuck trying to guard 2 people at the same time because he has to help on the pop and he has to guard his man, and he's not able to do both. And this is how you can manipulate a defense when there is a single tag and you're in a pick and pop scenario. As the guard comes off to his left, this big is going to pop, and so the guard in the corner needs to stay put, and that's going to put stress on this 1 tag defender to try and guard both. He stays with his man, and it leaves a wide open pick and pop. And the same thing happens in the pick and roll. As this big sets the screen and rolls to the rim, this corner offensive player is going to shake or lift up, and watch the stress that it puts on this single tag who can't guard both. But in a lot of situations, you're going to have 2 tags that you have to deal with. So let's look at that situation. On this middle ball screen, the guard is going to his left. So if we look to the back side, we will now see those 2 tag defenders right here. This is how you break down this situation. The ball handler did his job by forcing help, and now there's 2 people guarding him, meaning we have an advantage on the backside. Now the 2 tags are responsible for making sure that the big's not open on the roll, but they also have to guard their initial matchups. And when the ball gets kicked out, there's confusion on the closeout, and that leads to a 1 more and a wide open 3. Ultimately, this turns into a math problem. You get 2 people on the ball, the top tag helps on the roll man. If you throw it to his guy, now the bottom tag is responsible for 2 people and he can't guard both and he has to make a decision. So when you break down ball screens into its most simplest form, there's only two things that matter: the coverage and the tags. Notice as the ball handler comes off to his left, you've got the top tag and the bottom tag working to cover up that roll man, so the ball gets skipped to the wing, one more to the corner, and the defense is late and can't recover. Now the person who drives this entire thing is the ball handler. So what you have to teach your guards is that when they come off of a ball screen, they have to get their eyes to the tags. As soon as you see this top tag rotated to the nail to help on the roll, the ball should automatically get kicked to the wing. If he's not there when you come off, then the ball should get thrown to the big, like you're gonna see in this next clip. On this step-up ball screen to the right, you'll see the two tags on the back side, and the top tag is nowhere near where he was in the last possession. That's why the ball gets thrown to the big. And on the catch, the bottom tag rotates over, which means the top tag is now guarding two people, and he can't guard both, so the big sprays it out, one more for a three. This concept is typically referred to as throwing the short roll, and I've done a breakdown video on that as well. If you want to take a look at it, it's up in the top right corner. Now let's see if you can take everything we've learned and apply it to this possession. How many tags do you see on this ball screen? The correct answer is 2. And the high tag on this possession does a great job of covering up the roll, so when the big comes back and re-screens, now there's only one tag to try and guard the roll and the shake. He gets put in jail, and that's what leads to this open dunk. And all of this leads to the most important part of this video: how can we manipulate tags? And what we just saw was the easiest way is creating single tag situations. As this ball handler's coming off to the left, look at all of this help on the backside to muddy up this pick and roll. Nothing's open, but as soon as they get into this second ball screen, now they have a single tag, and because it happens so quick, the tag man is late helping, and that's what opens up the big, and they could have thrown the shake too. Let's look at another example that's almost identical. As they come off this step up, notice there's two tags that are in perfect position to guard the roll or the pop. Well, that was all a decoy so they could get into this second ball screen where there's only one tagger who has to guard the roll and the shake, and he was so worried about his man that it opens up this late dump off for an easy bucket. The next way to manipulate the defense is the element of surprise. This looks like it's going to be a ball screen going to the left with a single tag on the backside, but at the last second he flips his ball screen and sends the ball handler to the right. Now the tag defenders are these two down here. So even though they gained a tag defender, because the flip happened at the last second, they were caught off guard and didn't react quick enough. So this can be created by your screener being creative or by off-ball players just cutting at the right time. In this clip, you're going to see a dribble handoff into a ball screen. As the player comes off to the right, pay attention to this wing who's cutting through to the opposite corner. Because of that cut, the defense goes from having 2 tags to 1 tag in the matter of a second because of that cut, and that's what opens up this lob over the top because there was confusion of who was supposed to be the low tag. And one way that you can get that intentional off-ball movement is by running one of the most popular plays in basketball that I refer to as Spain. This is where you have a middle ball screen and you're going to take a shooter who's going to try and set a back screen on the screener's defender and then pop to space. This creates so much confusion for the defense because tags are not only trying to worry about the roll man, but their matchups are also relocating as well. So now you know the reason this play is being run all over the world is because it manipulates tags. So on the initial ball screen, the 2 tag defenders are in great position right here. But on the back screen and pop and the slide by the wing, notice how the defense collapses down to the paint and they leave the shooter open. But when this same action is run in a different game by a different team, now as they come off of the ball screen, the tag defenders get caught up worried about the pop, and so now this bottom tag is worried about the roll and the corner, and he's not able to guard both. There's just so many variables that the defense has to account for, it's hard to make sure they cover all of them. I know that I just threw a lot of information at you, and if you stayed till the end, I appreciate it. In my opinion, this is the most important thing to understand in the game of basketball from an offensive and defensive perspective. If you have questions, if there's anything that I can do for you, let me know. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for coming through. We'll see you next time in the film room.